Stapleton and welcome to Wrokdown. Well, my very special guest this evening started her showbiz career at the ripe old age of 7 years old on Channel 7 in a show called Brian and the Juniors, which was the precursor to Young Talent Time. Would you please welcome the gorgeous Miss Nikki Nicholls. So, Nick, you started off on television and you were there for how many years?
2.
2 years?
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, I know, and we're going to go more in depth with this later, you have actually worked with every major artist in Australia, I would say.
Pretty much.
Pretty much, here and all around the world. John Farnham Band, the original John Farnham Band.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, you travelled the world with Kylie Minogue when she broke into the music industry. But we're here tonight to talk about Nikki's album because I know you had done a couple of albums previously, but not for a while. And we are premiering your film clip on television tonight.
Wow.
And the album is called
Bridesmaid.
And can you tell me why it's called Bridesmaid?
Well, that's because sort of working with the amount of bands that I have worked with, I was always doing backing vocals, and I pretty much felt like a bit of a bridesmaid, never the bride. You know, I always said to myself, if I ever write a book or do a show or something, I'd like to call it Always a Bridesmaid. Anyway, it turned out that I wrote a song called Bridesmaid, and I've called the album Bridesmaid. So that's sort of come to fruition.
Now the thing is that, as we said before, you have worked can you give us some names? Of course, John Farnham, who you were in the original John Farnham Band.
Yes.
Before he even joined LRB and then went back as the John Farnham Band.
Yep.
Kylie Minogue, all around the world.
Yep. Who else? Susie Quattro, Lulu. Let's see, Aussie Crawl, which was a fun
Great
tour.
tour, yeah.
Richard Clapton. Oh God,
It's enough.
So many.
Everybody. So finally, you decided this is it. I'm going to do my own album.
Yeah. Before I get any older, which is every day it's like I look in the mirror and go, no, quick, do an album.
Okay, so you just started writing?
Yeah, well, I've been writing for a while, and I had a whole heap of songs, and I just thought, look, I really want to have something recorded that will be a legacy to my grandchildren when I finally get some. Just something that I can leave behind when I'm not here anymore, and people won't forget me, basically.
So the process of doing that, of course, I know you wrote a lot of the stuff yourself because you play guitar.
Really bad guitar, yes. I learned for 5 years when I was a kid. Never practiced, and if you heard me play, you would grab the guitar and probably bash it over my head. It's so bad.
But you can pluck out a tune. So you started writing, and I know that you actually had a fabulous group of musos that came in around you and said, we're going to play on this with you and help you. Did anyone else co-write with you, or?
Yes, the one song called Connection that's on the album, I co-wrote that with Warren McLean. He used to be with the Divinals, the Machinations, a few different people. Kate, I'm talking. So we co-wrote that one. That's pretty much it, though. Oh, and I did one cover of Ricky Lee Jones' song, Chucky's in Love.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, because I love that song, and I just wanted to put that on as well because I loved it.
Now, Bridesmaid is a really, really interesting song, and I've known Nick for a very long time. As a matter of fact, we, I don't know how we came out of this alive, but we worked together for 10 years with Deborah Byrne in a little show called Girls, 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 and we had an absolute ball.
Yes, lots of fun.
I've known your style, or what I think is your style of music, for a long time. Bridesmaid was something really, really out of the box.
Yeah.
Where did it come from?
Well,
the actual style and everything is so unusual.
Yeah, the song actually, I wrote it about, it's based on a true story. Many years ago, I was dating a guy, and he had forgotten to tell his girlfriend that their relationship was over. And I ended up being confronted by her one night, and she was oh, hello.
Hello.
Oh, look who it is. Who's just walked onto the set? Mr. John Swan.
Hi, yep, how are you doing? I just come to say I love your album. I really do. It's great.
Swanee, we're in the middle of hearing this disastrous story. What happened, Nick?
Well, she just sort of, grabbed me by the scruff of the neck and
Like
said,
that?
pretty much, and said, "How dare you be going out with my guy?" And I said, "But he told me that was all over." And she said, "Well, it's not over, and you know what else? You're just somebody that guys will never take seriously. You're just a plaything. They're going to dump you the minute they've basically betted you." And and it was really mean. And she said she was just a real bitch. So I thought, and it played on my mind for years, and I thought, I'm going to write a song about this. So I did.
Swanee,
Yeah.
what do we owe this pleasure? What are you doing here?
Shooting the film clip.
You're shooting a film clip?
Going to talk to Noise 11, Mr. Stavala, Warren Costello. Come and watch this. And Eric's here a bit later on. I'm really looking forward to that.
We do have.
It's
a very
always good
special
fun here. Musicland's a place where no matter what happens, it's good fun because great store. You can walk in there and pick up any guitar and come in here and play. And the people are good. It's good to see Chris here. Fantastic, And Soozie is such a wind up. She winds you up from the time you get in. Long before I got in this morning, they were winding me up. And
So you were actually here today. Tell the truth. You were doing a clip.
I came across to see Mushroom Group and Frank, but I'm having such a great time.
Well, thank you.
And friends come from Adelaide, that's wonderful
Oh,
too.
wow. That's great. Followed you all the way over.
Okay, we're going to have a look at the clip now.
Okay.
Enjoy this. This is
Loved it.
Bridesmaid.
Loved it.
Thanks, Swanee.
Ain't it funny how things play on your mind after years have gone by? I met a girl, she had a lot to say, stinging words that made me cry. I said, "You don't even know me." She said, "I know enough about you, bitch. You're the kind of girl men play. I'm the one they wanna hitch. No one's ever gonna love you, not the way they love me. No one's ever gonna take you home to mama and daddy. No, you're never gonna get to where the ivory and bray. Your insignificance will always make you the bridesmaid." The house been a womanizer, cash creator, dominator, and the one that got away. Guitar playing, musos strumming in the pantyhose, and a funky DJ. Hey, marry me, marry me, marry me. Diamonds everywhere I turned. If she only knew her words were so untrue, the day she said you'll get burned. No one's ever gonna love you, not the way they love me. And no one's ever gonna take you home to mama and daddy. No, you're never gonna get to where the ivory and bray. Your insignificance will always make you the bridesmaid. Ooh. Now, some time ago, I ran into her at a show. She was standing all alone. She fixed me with a stare as I strutted over there to the scent of cheap cologne. I said, "So who'd you go and tie the knot with?" She said, "Oh, it never really came about." "Oh, well, that's too bad, so sad." Then I had to spit it out. So, no one ever really loved you,
Well, welcome back to Wrokdown. In 1980, Mondo Rock released their album Chemistry. The single, State of the Heart, was on the national Australian charts for more than 6 months, which is an amazing feat. The album went on to win Album of the Year, and the songwriter who wrote State of the Heart, Chemistry, Come Said the Boy, the list goes on and on, won Songwriter of the Year, and he's here tonight with us, Mr. Eric McCusker.
Hi. Nice to be here.
There was something funny that we weren't going to actually discuss, but we were chatting just before we came back from the break, and Eric told me that his first break into show business was also on Channel 7, but
Yep.
tell us about it.
I used to do live to air in Sydney, in Channel 7 Sydney. It was a thing called a television tutorial, and we did science experiments with my dad, who was a professor of physics. So yeah, we used to...
Like Professor Sumner Miller.
Yeah. Well,
Why is it so?
We replaced, in '65, we replaced Sumner Miller because he had a coronary about 2 weeks before he was due. That was on Channel 9, so that was the next year. And so they asked my dad to come in and he said, so he brought me and my sister would sort of do the experiments.
So your dad was Professor...
Professor of Physics at Sydney Uni.
Professor McCusker.
Professor Brian McCusker.
McCusker. And my son, Eric.
That's right.
And my daughter,
Alison,
Erica.
Yeah, no, Alison.
I must admit, when I was looking at your bio, I did notice that, you know, you had this sort of unusual, not unusual, but I did notice that you were born in Dublin,
Yep.
in Ireland, came to Australia, and I noticed you went to quite a lot of different schools, and then you went to America, and I thought, I bet you your dad's like a professor.
Yeah.
And of course he was.
It was, yeah. And we went, he had an exchange year at Cornell University, so I went to junior high in Ithaca, New York. And
Was it wonderful?
That was fantastic,
Was it
yeah.
very, very different from Australia?
It was very different. It was just when what they call the British invasion was happening. So it was 1965, 1966, an incredible time to be there. And my sister joined this all-girl band, and they had played Rickenbacker 12 strings, and I used to go along to rehearsal. And I was only like 12, my sister was 15. And so, yeah, that's when I started, you know.
And that's when you started playing?
Yep, exactly.
You got into jazz.
I did for a little while. Did the jazz course at the Sydney Conservatorium, because I'd studied medicine for a couple of years and decided that wasn't working for me.
Lucky for us.
I had my head inside a cadaver's chest cavity one time, and I'm going, yeah, I don't think, no.
I think I'm more into having my head in a groupie's chest.
Oh, yeah, okay. Yes.
Oh, come on, be
That's
real.
right.
What would you rather?
Which would you prefer?
So,
I quit before my second year exams and went and studied for like just 6 months at the Sydney Conservatorium just to learn a bit about music. I had a great teacher there called Judy Bailey, who was one of my teachers, and an American guy called Howie Smith. And Wilbur Wilde was in the same class as Howie Smith.
To wonder you learned anything.
That's when I met him, and we've been dear friends for a long time, yeah.
absolutely. So, your first band, I believe, was in Sydney.
Yep.
With Renee Gayer.
Renee, it was a band called Dry Red, and I was still at Sydney High, and she'd just quit high school and was at Secretarial College. Yeah, and she was we were both 16, and she was already an amazing singer. She came to this party. We had this little band we were going. Renee came and sang with us, and we were just like, oh, crikey, because she already sang like that when she was 16, you know. Just this amazing, powerful, soulful, you know, Dusty Springfield meets Aretha kind of voice, you know.
It's amazing, isn't it? People
Incredible.
that young, and yourself as well. And was this all the same band, Jeff St. John?
These were sort of the sequence of bands I was in through the 70s in Sydney.
Stevie Wright?
Stevie Wright, yeah, did that for a while. John English, Ross Ryan. So that's kind of where I learned my craft with those kind of people.
And the influence, I mean, the fact that, as you said, you studied jazz, but did you realise that you wanted to be in a sort of, was it funk, was it rock, it was just a bit of a mix of eclectic
all of that
mix?
stuff that was kind of going around. I grew up next to a guy who was a sort of a jingle guy in Sydney. He wrote Louis the Fly is Dead and a few other things.
My favourite.
Yeah, a guy called Jimmy White, and so he sort of turned me on to kind of. I guess I was like kind of had a taste quite sophisticated stuff. Done Burt Bacharach, and then in the 70s I really liked Steely Dan and that sort of stuff that was quite advanced or complicated. I kind of like complicated music.
And then you were lured to Melbourne, is this correct? To join Captain Matchbox.
Captain Matchbox, yeah, something completely different. I was about to give up music because sort of things were going a bit sour for me, and I was going to become a computer programmer. And Jim Conway from the Matchbox band said, no, come down to Melbourne, we'll give you a job. And
so why at that particular time was it essential to move to Melbourne? Was it at that particular time where things were really happening down here?
Yeah, and a bunch of things kind of went bad for me in Sydney, So I sort of broke up with a girlfriend and got busted and things like that. The things that make you move.
All the stuff that always makes you make the big move.
That's right, yeah.
Okay, so you're going to join us for 2 more segments during the show. So we'll hear all about Captain Matchbox and what led you to become part of Mondo Rock, your fabulous success as a songwriter.
Had a good run there for a while. Yeah, it was
amazing writer. We're going to
Thank
take
you.
a look at we like to do this. We like to have a look at new young bands that are around about. So we're going to finish this segment with a band called Love Child. This is Lately I'm Confused. So have a look at this, and we'll be back very soon with Eric McCusker and Nikki Nicholls.
Wrokdown.
Welcome back to Wrokdown. This is a segment we're all waiting for, as we always do. It's Out and About with Miss Soozie Pinder.
Hello, Miss Wendy.
Hello, Miss Soozie. We were out and about today, weren't we?
We were out in the tear having lunch together today. Didn't we muck up? What happens on tour stays on tour, Wen.
I thought I was very good.
Well, you were.
You weren't?
No, I wasn't.
No, I'm only joking. It was all good. What have you been up to, Dane?
The Choirboys. Now, Mark Gable is a maniac in the truest sense, but in the most dearest sense. He is one funny, funny man, and we had the privilege of interviewing the Choirboys at Rockberry Jam, which is a great gig that's going to be on again after Christmas.
Okay, so we're looking at an interview with
The Choirboys.
The Choirboys.
So this is the interview. We are so stoked. We're down at the Rockberry Jam, the inaugural Rockberry Jam, and we found a couple of Choirboys. Lindsay Tebbett.
Yeah.
Got it right, didn't I?
Yeah.
And Ian Hume.
Tim, you got it.
I was going to say Holm, but Hume. How you going, guys?
I'm doing well.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, we're all warmed up here at Rockberry Jam.
Now, we caught up with you, Miss Chrissy and I, at Rockford Dock at the Cherry Bar last year.
We did.
Yeah.
Well, you did, and we did chat, didn't we?
And what a great gig that was.
It was awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where did the name The Choirboys come from?
Oh, I think it was on a list of 1,000 names, and Mark just got a pin and went, okay, we'll do that.
So that's it, just that easy. I thought it was something like you were good church boys.
Oh, no, none of us went to church, no.
You went to
No.
church. So you toured with Bon Jovi in the late 80s. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I remember it.
like?
I remember it all.
What was it like?
Yeah, it was good fun. You know, it was big shows. It was early days. It was just as, I suppose, Run to Paradise was starting to kick in. You know, good fun to do that sort of show. I mean, we did a tour recently with Def Leppard and Heart, which was a lot of fun to do too. That was great. I couldn't believe.
Fabulous.
Oh, Heart were awesome. How was the I can't remember her name. The girlie who could sing, and boy, could she
What's
sing.
her name? She's gorgeous.
Is it Nancy Wilson and Ann Wilson?
That's right. Yeah.
So, Ann, isn't it? Ann Wilson?
I think so.
Yeah.
Alrighty, I'm going to let you go and cool down, and we're going to go and find Mark, aren't we? He's somewhere there. How you going?
Great, thank you.
Yeah! Hi guys, how are you? Hi Susie. Kiss.
Oh, my heart's melted. Is it hot enough for you?
Yeah, no, it's really good actually. I don't mind the heat because I was brought up in New Guinea, so no, it's good. I don't know what I'm saying.
I want to ask you about, because I was speaking with the other guys, but I want to ask you about the Cold Chisel gig when you ruptured your vocal cords. Now, what happened? How did you rupture them?
Well, here's the thing is that I was, I suffered from allergies, right? It was from drinking milk. I used to drink a lot of milk, powdered milk and stuff like that because it was good for bodybuilding. What that caused is a lot of allergy stuff which took away my voice. Anyway, I went to the doctor and she gave me these things that are like you snort them into your nose, but it's not like bad stuff, but it was bad stuff. And it's very much like Panadol. Singers aren't meant to have Panadol because Panadol has an ingredient in it that thins the blood vessels and causes the blood vessel to rupture. And so that occurred when we were doing a gig in Canberra with Cold Chisel. And then we did a show down at Festival Hall in Melbourne the next day with the Vinyls, and it was all over for me for about, I couldn't talk for 3 months, couldn't sing for 12.
That must have been horrendous.
Now I can do nothing but talk and I can't sing anymore. Well, I can sing, but...
Now I want to know, what have you been up to? Tell us about what you've been up to.
Okay, well, Brett's been very busy, but I've been very busy also because Brett's just had a child and Oscar's how old now? 3.
Oh, 3.
Yep, 3.
Any musical inclination for Oscar?
Yeah, he likes to sing.
He does?
At the top of his voice, yeah.
Let you know he's around?
Yeah.
You wouldn't have had much sleep with a little 3-year-old?
No, not a lot.
Yeah. You don't know you're alive until you have kids?
No, we'll ask Mark, his is younger.
Yeah. How old is your little one?
He's 17 months, and I just got a picture of him here. Let's have a look at this. Oh, no, he's gone. That's somebody called me. I don't know who that was.
Google Maps, that was. Finding your way here.
Google Maps. So we're just... Sorry.
That's how we got here.
Sorry. We're just
Google Mapped
here.
it.
Let me get that.
So there's some new Choirboys music coming out, is there?
Might be.
Might be.
Here's the intention, and I'll probably give it away here because somebody will move quicker than we do. But you hear it first here.
At Wrokdown TV.
At Wrokdown TV. Wrokdown TV is Choirboys will be doing our first album in 10 years. Will be an instrumental. Yeah! An instrumental. Shocking news.
Here first.
Who would ever have thought of that? You know, and it wasn't me. And our second album, following almost straight after that, which we're in the process of writing, both these albums, will be an album about Australia in the 70s, in particular the surf culture in the 70s. Because I keep looking at the camera, I don't know why. Soozie, sorry.
Because they like to see you too.
Oh, do they?
Yeah. Well, we're going to let you get out because the audience out there are going to run amok when you get on the stage. Really lovely to talk with you.
Lovely to talk
yeah.
with you.
And really lovely to talk with you. And when you come down,
No, you're not talking to the microphone.
You must be naked when you walk around my house too, okay?
Don't leave me. What am I going to do without you?
Sorry.
Did taste
It's all
good?
salty.
I am. Wrokdown over and out. Thanks, guys.
Pleasure.
I happen to know they're nutty. Well, I don't know whether the whole band is, but Mark definitely
He is.
is wacko. So what did he actually get to explain the idea of the? I don't know. Is he seriously? They're doing an instrumental album.
I think he was just yanking my
Yeah,
chain.
I think he
was flat out. We spoke about things. He's got an amazing memory because we're talking about kids, and I said I always walk around my house naked, and my kids pay no attention to that. And he
You don't
remembered
still
it.
do it.
Yeah, I
boys,
do.
does she still do it?
Yeah, yeah. I said, this is your future, so get used to it. You know, this is what's going to happen in the future when you date women. But they were amazing. They're touring again. They're going to be at the Cherry Bar in November. And they're doing, I think, something to do with AC/DC music. But they are outstanding. And he has not lost his voice. They sounded like the record when I nicked out to have a look because it was a 40-degree day and yes, he did lick my face and he did say it's salty, but he was just full of life and the band are tight and it is worth seeing. So the Cherry Bar, I think, are going to be rocking them around November.
November here
Yeah.
in Melbourne.
Yeah, here in Melbourne. So
At the Cherry Bar. So
Yeah.
we're looking forward to that, and we'll probably have some more dates for their tours.
yeah, we'll have to get some more dates because they are a band that you really, really want to see. I loved it. I rocked out. So that was pretty good fun, wasn't it, eh?
You always have fun.
Oh, life is there to be lived, and every day I wake up and think, what's going to happen today?
We never know with Miss Soozie. We're going to take a very, very short break and be back with gorgeous Nikki Nicholls and Eric McCusker. Would you please once again thank the gorgeous Soozie Pinder. Welcome back to Wrokdown. My very special guest this evening, the gorgeous Miss Nikki Nicholls. And the amazingly talented Mr. Eric McCusker. So we're going to take off where we left off with Eric, with Mondo Rock. The band had amazing success. I think, well, you correct me, or I'm not actually sure of the facts, but I know that Mondo Rock as a band, or as your songwriting, broke so many records in Australian music history. Can you take me through some of those little stats?
Oh, look, I don't think we were as big as Cultures or In Excess, that sort of thing. But we had 10 top 40 singles, which is okay. Not a bad thing.
Is that all? It's fantastic.
I think one of them only reached 40, though.
Which was your personal favourite of the songs that you wrote? Because I'll tell you that when I was first starting out with Wendy and the Rockets and we were touring country Australia, every 3 minutes, no matter what station we turned on, State of the Heart was being played. Is it the most beautiful song, isn't it? And then Come Said the Boy. Of course, that was on the next album, is that correct?
It was the 2 albums later.
2 albums later. So the momentum just kept going with Mondo, didn't it?
Yeah, we had a great run really from some 80 to 85. We were sort of pretty constantly on the charts, which was an amazing thing, you know, really.
An amazing band.
And we sort of kept going and still had a lot of fun for another 10 years, another 5 or 6 years. So I joined at the beginning of 1980 and went through till about 91, and it was a great time.
And working with Ross.
Yeah, working with Ross. And we started again working together. I mean, I started playing in Ross's band again around the year 2000 in his band. It's called the Urban Legends, and then it's called the Peaceniks, and I still do a lot of gigs with him and that. But we've also done Mondo Rock shows from time to time. We did a national tour earlier this year. There's some big theatre tours, which was fantastic, with Gil Matthews playing drums, who had been the original drummer when I joined. So we played with the 1980 lineup with Gil and James Black and Paul Christie and Ross and I. So it was
and of
great
course,
fun.
James Black, people would see on
Rockwiz Orchestra,
all the time. An amazing lineup.
Yeah.
And of course, Nikki, you were out with Aussie Crawl in that period of time, which would have been a lot of fun.
Yeah, I was with Aussie Crawl in, let's see, probably around 83, I think 84. When John went off with LRB, I did a tour with Aussie Crawl. So it's probably, around the same time, as similar to that time.
There's another connection here, which was, of course, at one stage, John Farnham started recording a new album, and he chose one of your songs. Is that correct?
Yeah, he did a song of mine called No One Comes Close, which was sort of not a famous song on the album, wasn't a single. He also recorded Touch of Paradise, which is one of Ross' songs. Ross wrote with Gulliver Smith, actually, from Company Cane, if you remember Company Cane.
Yeah.
I remember it was right around the time I got married, actually, and we were just sort of rehearsing for an album called Boom Baby Boom, and we were just narrowing it down from sort of 18 tracks to about 14 tracks. I think we went into the studio with, and one of the tracks that got flipped was called the song No One Comes Close to You, and Farnham was in the next studio. I said, hey,
was this at AAV?
No, it was the one in South Melbourne, not Deluxe, the other one.
Troy?
No.
That other place where we used to get drunk.
York Street. In York Street?
Yeah, in York Street. That's right.
Doesn't matter.
Anyway, so have I got a song for you? And I thought I was doing him a favour. And I remember when I got married and went away on a honeymoon. I remember being in Venice, going, "Oh, should we go on a gondola? No, it's too expensive. We can't afford to go on a gondola." No, it's just so coming back. And when we come back, this Whispering Jack was like a #1 record. And it was a #1 record for a year or something. I go, we should have gone on the gondola. If only I'd known.
Can we all go on it next week?
Yeah, it's okay.
George Clooney's just done it.
Yeah.
Right. But there was a connection as well with what we're getting around to later on.
Because Nikki sang all over
There's
that
always
album,
been connections because Nikki sang for John Farnham with John Farnham.
Well, yeah.
And you were on
I did the Whispering Jack album.
Yeah.
And I must say, not because you're sitting here, but I did love that song. I thought that was one of the best songs on the album. It wasn't a single or anything, but it was a beautiful song, and I thought this is a great song. And I have to say, I didn't know that you wrote it. I only just found out that tonight. So,
well, you know now.
Wonderful, beautiful song.
Now, the thing was that after the John Farnham situation, Nick, I know that you spent a lot of years working in this fabulous group called the Love Stars.
Yeah.
And this is probably very Melbourne-centric, I guess, but everywhere the Love Stars were, there was a queue around the block.
Yeah, we mainly, we worked a lot of gigs. Sundays were always, the place to go on a Sunday for about 8 years was wherever the Love Stars are. We had a bit of a cult following, and it was just madness. We went a bit nutty in those years. But
it was one of the places, because the other place was where we used to work, and that was the Roxy.
The Roxy in South Melbourne,
yes. Yes.
Anyone remember the Roxy?
Yes.
And we were
Did you work the Roxy?
Yes.
Wilbur brought me in to replace. I played there one night.
Yeah.
One night with the band. It was just nuts. It would just go completely crazy.
Because I used to do Fridays there. You did Saturdays or something?
It was Saturdays.
Yeah.
Friday, Saturdays. Yeah. I remember that place sort of bought out my house anyway.
Well,
for a lot of my
it was sort of post us all doing other bands and just for a very brief moment coming together in all of these different mixes of fabulous musos. And it seemed to be very South Melbourne centric.
Yeah.
And it was wonderful fun. We're actually going to have to take a break, but we're coming back with Nikki and Eric, and we have a fabulous new project that you guys have formed.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about when we come back. Would you please welcome Nikki Nicholls, Eric McCusker. Be back soon. Welcome back to Wrokdown. My special guest tonight, Miss Nikki Nicholls, and the amazing Eric McCusker. Look, we can't obviously cover everything in everyone's careers, but you guys have had such an amazing career. Nikki, apart from working with everyone else, and now you've got your solo album out, so we're wishing you the best of luck with
Thank you very
Bridesmaid.
much.
Everyone
Thank
go
you.
and buy Bridesmaid. You've got to love it. It's just fantastic.
It's available on iTunes as well.
Yeah, well,
Have to plug that.
Plug it. You can do that.
Gotta plug it.
And Eric, I know that you're never, ever not busy. You've been writing. You've been on the boards of so many musical.
Of APRA, yeah, mainly just APRA, yeah, for a long time, 24 years.
24
Vote
years.
Vote for me. I'm up to re-election this year. Tell your friends.
Yes.
Well, you APRA members, it's amazing. There's 80,000 members and usually only about 1,000 votes, so you can make a difference. So vote for me.
Well, we
Number
should.
one.
I'll vote for you, and I'll get all my friends and
Okay,
family
that's
to
it,
vote for you
beautiful.
as well.
So you're both constantly busy doing projects. I know, Eric, that you are constantly doing little projects with, Ross Wilson, for instance. You have something.
Yeah, well, ongoing with Ross with Mondo Rock, and maybe we've been talking about doing a couple of new tracks this year or next year. I've been writing a musical about Ava Gardner
Ava Gardner?
Yeah. Well, when Ava Gardner came out to Melbourne in 1959.
For On the Beach?
For On the Beach, and so I've written a musical about the last 2 weeks she was here, and Frank Sinatra was here, and she supposedly had this affair with an Australian jazz singer called Joe Lane, so I kind of built a story around.
Did you
Yeah.
ever meet anyone that actually, have you spoken to anyone that was actually with them at that time?
Yeah, I know there was a few people, a few musicians, because Sinatra came out, because Ava rang Frank up and said, I'm bored in Melbourne, and he said, oh, I'll come out, even though they'd been married and split up and everything, they're still kind of madly in love with each other. So he rang up Lee Gordon, said, we're going to do some shows, I think on about 3 weeks.
Lee Gordon
3
was a
weeks
famous
notice,
promoter here,
in the 50s in Australia, an American guy. And so Frank did some concerts just so he could have an excuse to come out, hang out with Ava Gardner, who he was still kind of madly in love with. But yeah, she supposedly had this fling with a guy called Joe Bebop Lane, who was this mad Sydney jazz
Has anyone
singer.
found him? I mean, I'm not saying that he's still alive, but
No, he's not still alive. No, but in this, we did one performance of this musical and Wilbur Wilde plays the Joe Lane character, who sort of is the narrator.
And Ava had an affair with him?
With Wilbur? I don't think so. No. But with Joe Lane,
Wouldn't that be funny?
Did you ever see Joe Bebop Lane? He was just this crazy.
Love that
great
name.
jazz,
No.
He was. I saw him play a few times in Sydney in the 70s and 80s. He only died in 2006. And
well, good luck with that. So that's all in the works,
it's still
in the pipeline.
One more rewrite.
Now, Nikki and Eric,
Yes.
We're in a band together.
We've got a band together.
let's talk about your band, Jam the Funk.
Jam the Funk. Yeah, with Danny Simchich, who was the drummer from Real Life, and Rick Petropoulos and Paula Reed and
Johnny Grant or Robin Payne.
Johnny Grant, Robin
It depends
Payne.
on the night.
Yep. And it's kind of just all of the funk stuff that we love to play. And so it's sort of stuff we were playing in the 70s, 80s and 90s.
Yeah.
And so we do Chaka Khan and Stevie Wonder and that sort
Yeah.
of.
Well, I was actually at a function today, and one of the function today was actually for celebrating the career of a famous DJ, and I won't mention names, but all of the DJs from, you name it.
Radio DJs.
Radio DJs.
Okay.
And when I was leaving, someone said, you tell everyone to go and see Jam the Funk because it's the most authentic
Oh, good.
version of funky music that is happening not only in Melbourne, but in the whole of Australia.
Wow, that's
Very
nice.
nice. Who was that?
I think I know.
Okay.
So,
I'll tell you later.
where can we see you guys? Is it all sort of mixed or?
We play quite a bit at the 114
We've
Club
got
114.
Flying Saucer coming up.
Flying Saucer.
Where's
coming up.
114?
It's
Oh,
on
114?
Mentone, yeah.
Mentone, so that's Nepean Highway,
Nepean
I'm
Highway,
presuming.
Mentone, yep.
But
So we're going to plug this because this band is brilliant.
It's a lot of fun. If you love to dance.
114 and...
Well, we've got the Flying Saucer coming up on the 31st of October, which is Halloween. So it's a big Halloween night.
what about Raba in Toorak? Do you occasionally do Raba?
Sometimes we
We've
do
played that a lot,
Raba.
yep.
Okay, so you've got to keep your ears and eyes open for Jam
The
Funk.
Jam the Funk.
And we're going to have some tunes later on from Jam the Funk. So, Nikki,
Yes, Wendy.
good luck with your album.
Thank you,
I'm
gorgeous.
so proud of you.
Thank you.
It's like
Thank you.
we're like buds.
Yeah.
We toured together, as I said, for about 10 years, and we've had
We've had a lot of good times.
a lot of good times.
I
and
nearly performed surgery on her one night. she had her contact lenses in, and one of them went astray somewhere, and it was really painful. So after a few wines, I decided that I would get my
Operate.
tweezers out, and I was sure I could help her. And I thought, well, if it doesn't work, we were close to, there was a hospital very close by. I thought we could run her over there, but she ended up
in the Eye and Ear
the
Hospital.
next day. But that wasn't my
So
fault.
that didn't work. No, it wasn't your fault. You didn't stick the tweezers in my eye.
But I nearly did.
But
You
we
were,
have-
you were up for it, remember?
Yes, of course. What else do you try? Oh, that's a good idea. Get the tweezers.
You'll do anything for a red wine.
We've had a lot of fun, and we've
Yeah.
known each other for a very, very long time, and I
Yes.
love you.
I love
and
you
I
too.
wish you so much success
Thank you.
with Bridesmaid. It's a fabulous
Thank
album.
you.
Go out and buy it, please. It's really brilliant. And Eric,
Thank you, everyone.
we've had the pleasure of working together before in a band for a little short period of time, but I've known you for a very long time. So all the same, all the success to you with your musical,
Yep.
with Ava. So the best of luck to you. We're going to be spoilt tonight because we're going to take you out tonight with a song from Eric. What are you going to do for us?
I'm going to do a first time ever acoustic version of Come See
First
the
time
Boys.
ever.
Yeah.
First time ever. Miss Nikki Nicholls, Eric McCusker, the gorgeous
Thank
Susie
you.
Pinder, and all of our beautiful crew, I should say, and cast. Good night from Wrokdown, and we're taking you out with Mr. Eric McCusker.
It was a party night. It was the end of school. His head was feeling light the first time. She seemed much older then. She had turned 17. She knew some older men the first time. Come, said the boy, let's go down to the sand. Let's do what we want to do. Let me be a man for you. And she said, well, I've been watching you a long time, and you've changed a lot. Up till now, it's been the wrong time to know whether to come here or not. She said, come with me, boy. Just take my I'll let you see what you wanna see. Come on, be a man for me. Such a long time. We both changed a lot. Up till now it's been a wrong time to know whether to come here or not. Ah, come, said the boy, let's go down on the sand. Let's do what we wanna do. Let me be a man for you. She said, come with me, boy. Just take my hand. I'll let you see what you want to see. Come on, be my man for me. Oh, his head was feeling alive. It was the first time